Let me ask you something. How many times have you said, I'll do it tomorrow? How many dreams have you delayed because you weren't in the mood? How many goals have you put off because you were tired, scared, confused, or just not feeling it? We all do it. We all wait for that perfect moment. We all hope for motivation to magically appear. We tell ourselves we'll begin when the timing is right, when life calms down, when our emotions align, when everything feels just right. But here's the truth no one likes to say out loud. The clock doesn't care. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're overwhelmed. It doesn't care if you're heartbroken, discouraged, confused, or afraid. Time moves forward anyway. The second hand ticks whether you're working or whining. The sun rises whether you're grinding or procrastinating. The days pass whether you're building your future or destroying it with excuses. That's the cold, brutal truth. And it's also your wake-up call. Because for every second you spend waiting, someone else is using that time to outwork you. Someone else is using that hour to build the life you keep dreaming about. Someone else is choosing discipline while you're choosing delay. The clock doesn't slow down for your sadness. It doesn't pause for your stress. It doesn't skip a beat just because you're not ready. It just keeps going. And so should you. What separates the winners from the watchers? It's not luck. It's not talent. It's not resources. It's urgency. It's ownership. It's the decision to act no matter what. Because the most successful people in the world are not the ones who feel good every day. They are the ones who show up even when they don't. They understand that time is the most unforgiving force on earth. Once it's gone for good. So you can either use your time or waste it. You can either fight for your life or watch it pass you by. You can either rise with the clock or fall behind it. But remember this, time never loses. It doesn't stop. It doesn't feel. It doesn't care. And that's exactly why you must. You must care enough to act now. Care enough to stop making excuses. Care enough to stop waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect moment, the perfect version of yourself. Because the clock is ticking and the world isn't going to wait for you to get it together. The clock waits for no one. Time is the one thing we all possess equally. Rich or poor, young or old, strong or weak. Everyone gets 24 hours. But not everyone treats it with the same respect. And here's the hard truth you need to hear. The clock doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care if you're tired. It won't pause because your heart is broken. It won't rewind because you made a mistake. While you sit in your feelings, hurt, confused, unmotivated, time keeps moving forward, second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, without slowing down, without mercy, without concern for your emotions. That's the reality most people ignore. They think time will wait for them to feel better. They think the perfect day will come when everything finally aligns, when motivation strikes, when fear disappears, when the path becomes clear. But that day never comes, not because it can't, but because you have to create it. The people who win in life aren't the ones who feel amazing every day. They're the ones who act regardless of how they feel. They know they don't control time, but they control what they do with it. Every second matters. Every minute is a chance to build, to grow, to become stronger. They don't take that lightly. But most people, they wait. They say, I'll start tomorrow. They say, I just need more time. They say, I'll do it when I feel ready. And then years pass. Dreams fade. Potential dies in silence. Understand this. Time doesn't stop, and neither should you. You don't need more inspiration. You don't need to feel in the mood. You need to move, to show up, to take action even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. You think you're losing time, but you're not. You're wasting it. Every hour you spend doing nothing is a decision, a choice. And every choice has a cost. The cost is your progress, your peace, your power. You can either use time or be used by it. You can either lead your life or let time drag you through it. You can either chase your purpose or chase distractions. The choice is yours. But the clock, it doesn't care. It's not your friend. It's not your enemy. It's just the most honest thing in your life. And it keeps going, no matter what. So stop waiting, stop stalling, stop lying to yourself that you'll start soon. There is no later, there is only now. And if you don't move now, you may never move at all, because the clock is ticking, and it's not waiting for you. Your feelings are valid, but they're not in charge. Let's get something clear. Your feelings are real and they matter. You're human. You're going to feel tired, scared, anxious, and uncertain. There will be days when your motivation is gone, your energy is low, and your mind is full of doubt. That's normal. That's part of the process. But what's not acceptable is letting those feelings run your life. Because while your feelings are valid, they are not in charge. They should not be the decision makers of your day. Why? Because your feelings are temporary, but the consequences of inaction are permanent. The clock doesn't care if you're feeling down today. It doesn't care if you're afraid of failing. It doesn't care if you're not in the mood. The clock just ticks, unbothered, relentless. And if you stop, if you give in to your feelings, time keeps going without you. This is where people lose. Not because they lack talent, not because they don't have opportunities, but because they wait for their feelings to give them permission to move. Let me ask you, have your feelings helped you build the life you want, or have they held you back? Every time you've told yourself, not today, I don't feel it, I'll wait. You gave your feelings control. And what did that give you in return? Regret, guilt, wasted time. Champions are built on discipline, not emotion. You think they wake up every day excited? They don't. You think they train, work, or create only when it feels good? They don't. They've learned to act in spite of how they feel. That's strength. That's power. You want to transform your life? Then you need to start doing what's necessary, not what's comfortable. Because growth doesn't come when you feel good. It comes when you push through, when it's uncomfortable, when it's inconvenient. You're not always going to want to show up, but you must. You're not always going to feel strong, but you must still fight. You're not always going to be confident, but you must still take action. If you only work when you feel like it, you'll never build momentum. If you only push on the good days, you'll never become consistent. And without consistency, you don't succeed in anything. Feelings come and go, but your purpose, your goals, your future, they deserve more than your mood swings. So feel the doubt, and still go after your dream. Feel the fear, and still take that step forward. Feel the pain, and still choose progress. Because the clock isn't listening to your emotions. It's watching your execution, and it will only reward you if you move. Not when you feel like moving, but when it matters most. You're not out of time, you're out of excuses. Every day people say, I wish I had more time. They look at their dreams, their goals, their plans, and they say, I just need a little more time, and I'll do it. But let's be honest, it's not about time, it's about excuses. Because you had time yesterday, you had time last week, you had moments, hundreds of them, where you could have taken action, started something, moved one step forward. But instead you told yourself it wasn't the right time. You told yourself you were too tired. You said, I'll start fresh on Monday. But Monday came, and nothing changed. So no, you're not out of time, you're just out of excuses. Time didn't abandon you. You abandoned your time, and now you're feeling the pressure. You see the days slipping by, the opportunities vanishing, the gap between who you are and who you want to be widening. That's not because life is unfair, it's because you're still living in delay. You keep thinking you'll change soon, that one day you'll suddenly wake up ready. But growth doesn't wait for you to feel ready, and time definitely doesn't care about your plans. It only rewards what you actually do. Want the truth? You had time to scroll, but not to study. You had time to complain, but not to commit. You had time to sit around worrying, but not to take the first step. It's not about having more time. It's about making better decisions with the time you already have. Everyone gets 24 hours, but not everyone uses them the same. Some waste their hours making excuses. Others use them to build empires, transform their health, start businesses, repair relationships, learn skills, create change. The difference isn't the time, it's the mindset. Excuses are comfortable. They let you off the hook. They make failure feel less painful, but they also keep you in chains, tied to the same cycle of frustration and disappointment. You say things like life got in the way, but sometimes the only thing in the way is you. Here's a better question. How bad do you really want it? Because if you want it badly enough, you'll stop explaining your delay and start owning your time. Don't tell yourself it's too late. Tell yourself it's still possible if I act now. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Build with what you've got. Because time hasn't run out, your patience has. The window isn't closed, you're just not climbing through it. So stand up, focus up, move now. Because the clock won't wait, and neither should you. You either respect the clock, or you regret it. There comes a point in your life when you look back, not just at what you did, but at what you didn't do. And the pain that hits you hardest isn't failure. It's wasted time. You didn't fail because you weren't capable. You failed because you didn't move when you could. You delayed, you distracted, you postponed your potential until it faded into what could have been. And now, all that remains is regret. Silent, sharp, and merciless. The truth, the clock was always fair. It gave you the same 24 hours as anyone else. It didn't steal from you. It didn't cheat you. You just didn't respect it. You treated time like it owed you something, like you could ignore it today and somehow catch up tomorrow. But the clock is not your servant. It's your mirror. It shows you exactly who you are by how you spend your days. Want to know someone's values? Watch their schedule. Want to know your future? Look at your habits, because your destiny isn't decided in the big moments. It's decided in how you treat the small minutes. And most people, they waste them, not because they want to, but because they don't believe the price of inaction is real. Let me be clear, time is expensive, but the cost doesn't show up today. It shows up years later, when you're stuck in a life you didn't choose, wondering how it got this way. Time is not something you manage, it's something you honor. You don't fit your dreams into your day. You build your day around your dreams. You say you want greatness, start acting like it. Get serious, get intentional, get aggressive about your hours. Track them, protect them, use them. Every second matters. Because here's what you'll never hear from successful people. I wish I spent more time waiting. I'm glad I delayed that project. I'm happy I ignored my goals for comfort. No, they'll tell you too. The opposite. That action changed their life. That urgency woke them up. That respecting the clock gave them control of their future. You can either live with discipline today or disappointment tomorrow. You can either choose structure or chaos. You can either dominate your time or be defeated by your distractions. The clock doesn't hate you. It's just honest. It rewards the focused and punishes the passive. So if you're tired of regret, then make a new choice right now. A choice to rise, to act, to finally respect your time. Because if you don't, one day you'll sit in the silence of your unfulfilled dreams and realize the clock didn't kill them. You did. Discipline is louder than motivation. You keep waiting to feel like it, to wake up excited, to suddenly become energized, to feel a spark that finally drives you into action. But here's the truth you've been avoiding. Motivation is a guest. Discipline is the homeowner. Motivation shows up when it wants. It's unreliable, it's emotional. But discipline shows up whether the sun is shining or the storm is raging. The clock doesn't care if you're motivated. It only tracks what you actually do. No one becomes successful because they feel good every day. They become successful because they show up when it's hard, because they take action when it's uncomfortable, because they understand the truth. Consistency beats inspiration every single time. You keep scrolling through videos to get motivated. You keep listening to podcasts, watching others live their purpose, hoping it'll light your own fire. But at some point, you have to stop consuming and start creating. Stop thinking and start moving. Because the difference between the person who wins and the one who waits is discipline. Discipline is what gets you up when the bed feels warm. Discipline is what makes you work when nobody is watching. Discipline is what separates the talkers from the doers. Every excuse you've used, discipline shuts it down. I'm tired, but you move anyway. I'm scared, but you show up anyway. I don't know how, but you try anyway. That's power. That's freedom. That's the foundation of greatness. You're not stuck because life is unfair. You're stuck because you think feelings are more important than habits. But feelings lie. Habits don't. You want to get ahead in life? Then stop being a slave to your mood, because the clock is never going to ask how you feel. It's only going to record whether you acted or not. Every successful person you admire, they mastered one day. HENG, how to keep going when it's boring, when it's hard, when it's thankless. Because real growth is not glamorous, it's not a highlight reel. It's sweat, repetition, focus, boredom, struggle. But that's the secret. Those who keep going during the grind win. So the next time you don't feel like doing it, do it anyway. The next time you want to quit early, stay longer. The next time your mind says stop, say not yet. Because motivation will fail you, but discipline, it will build you. Respect the clock by building habits that move with it. Don't just wait for energy. Create it through action, because at the end of the day, results don't come from how you feel. They come from what you repeatedly do. Comfort is the enemy of time. Comfort feels good, but it's dangerous. It lulls you into thinking you have more time. It convinces you that you can rest now and grind later. It makes today feel less important and tomorrow feel guaranteed. But comfort is a liar, and if you listen to it long enough, you'll waste years of your life. You say, I'll relax just a little. You say, it's not urgent, I've got time. And just like that, days become weeks, weeks become months, and one day you wake up realizing you haven't moved at all. You're not stuck because you're incapable. You're stuck because you've made peace with comfort. You've accepted being average. You've built a home in delay. And the clock, it's still ticking, counting the time you've traded for convenience. Here's a truth that hits hard. Every time you choose comfort, you delay your potential. Yes, rest is necessary. Yes, burnout is real. But most people aren't burned out. They're uninspired. They're not physically tired. They're mentally undisciplined. They've become addicted to ease, allergic to effort, and blind to time slipping away. Comfort is what tells you one more episode. Comfort is what says you've earned a break, even if you haven't. Comfort says, don't push too hard. What if you fail? But greatness? Greatness whispers back, what if you never try? The people you admire didn't get there by choosing what felt good. They sacrificed. They resisted the pull of comfort. They trained their mind to crave discipline more than distraction. You want results? Then you've got to get uncomfortable. Growth happens where it hurts. Progress starts where comfort ends. That's where the edge is. And that's where winners live. You've got to stop letting comfort steal your time. Every moment you choose easy over effort, you're choosing to be left behind. Success requires urgency. And urgency doesn't live in comfort. Urgency wakes you up before the alarm. Urgency makes you do the extra set, the extra hour, the extra step. Because urgency understands that time is limited and comfort is expensive. You have no idea how much you could accomplish if you just stopped taking the easy way out. So ask yourself, are you building your future or avoiding discomfort? Are you moving with urgency or making peace with mediocrity? Because the clock, it's not judging you, it's exposing you. And every second you spend being cozy instead of committed is a second you'll never get back. So break the comfort, break the patterns, break the cycle. Because comfort doesn't build legacies, courage does. Time rewards the ruthless. If you want to win, you have to get ruthless. Not with people, but with your time. You have to protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. Your future, your dreams, your growth, they all depend on how you spend your hours. Time is not just ticking, it's testing you, testing your focus, your priorities, your hunger. Every time you say yes to distractions, you say no to your vision. Every time you choose comfort over effort, you choose delay over destiny. Every time you give in to other people's drama, laziness, or nonsense, you're handing your future over on a silver platter. You need to become ruthless. That means saying no more often. That means cutting the fluff out of your day. The scrolling, the overthinking, the drama, the meaningless small talk. It means getting serious about what actually moves your life forward and eliminating what doesn't. You can't afford to be polite with your purpose. You can't afford to be casual with your calling. While others waste time trying to impress the world, you need to be building. While others are busy trying to fit in, you need to be focused on standing out. Winners don't wait for permission. They move with purpose. They guard their time. They don't let energy vampires drain them. They don't let distractions dictate their direction. They understand the one thing most people never grasp. The more ruthless you are with time, the more peaceful your future becomes. Yes, people will misunderstand you. They'll say you've changed. They'll call you obsessed. Let them talk while you work, because when the results show up, they'll fall silent. Discipline looks like obsession to the undisciplined, but you're not here to be liked. You're here to be legendary. So build boundaries. Schedule your time down to the minute. Know exactly what you need to do when you wake up. Stop being busy. Start being intentional. If something doesn't grow you, build you, or align with your purpose, cut it. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. You don't owe anyone your time. You owe it to your dream. You owe it to the future version of you. The one who's counting on you to stop playing small and start thinking like a savage. Be ruthless with your time. Be unapologetic with your focus. Be obsessive with your purpose. Because time doesn't care about excuses. It only rewards those who refuse to waste it. So now that you've heard it, really heard it, what are you going to do? Because this isn't just another motivational video you watch and forget. This isn't just noise in the background while you scroll your life away. This is the moment where you choose who you're going to be and how you're going to spend what little time you've got left. The clock doesn't care about your feelings, and neither does the world, but your future self does. That version of you 5 years from now, 10 years from now, they're depending on you to act today. They're counting on you to stop making excuses, to stop living in comfort, to stop choosing fear over freedom. Every second you waste now is a debt your future will have to pay. Every minute of distraction becomes an hour of regret. Every "I'll do it later" becomes "I wish I had started sooner." And one day, maybe sooner than you think, you'll look back on these very moments. Not the big ones, not the birthdays or the parties or the highlight reels, but these small, quiet, ordinary moments, the ones where you had the chance to change and didn't. That will be the pain. Not failure, but potential never used. Not loss, but time never honored. You have one life, one body, one mind, one mission, and the clock is ticking whether you use that gift or waste it. You've waited long enough. You've made enough excuses. You've let fear run the show for far too long. Now is the time to reclaim your hours, to own your days, to rise even when it's hard, to fight even when it's dark, to build even when the world doubts you. Because the truth is, your success was never about how you felt. It was always about what you did despite how you felt. And now, right now, is your chance to write a new story. One built on action, not avoidance. One fueled by purpose, not excuses. One where you don't just count the hours, you may ache the hours count. So let the world sleep, let them scroll, let them waste their time chasing comfort and complaining about life. But not you. You've got a vision, you've got a fire, and you've got time. For now. But don't just hope, don't just plan. Execute, move, go. Because the clock, it's still ticking, and it's waiting to see what you'll do next. Make it count.